had a high school history teacher who told us a lot of stories. Not about world history, which was the class, but his own. For a time, he had driven a school bus in Alaska, I think. There was a student named Moose, a biplane that flew narrowly between a mountain pass and over the bus so closely that the wheels almost touched the roof. Or maybe he had been the one in the plane and the bus was driven by someone else. And maybe the kid named Moose was really just a moose. I can't remember, and I'll never know. His life before becoming a history teacher outside of Houston, Texas, at least as he told it, had been one filled with daring and grand adventures and misadventures alike. Even at that age, which must have been 15 or so, I didn't really believe the things he told us. They had the unmistakable whiff of tall tales. Or maybe it was a failure of imagination on my part. It is easy to believe when you're young that the adults in your life don't have lives of their own that both precede and extend beyond how they immediately appear in front of you. Or rather, what I really mean is that it's easy not to care one way or the other. In the novel A Heart So White, one of my favorites in many years, the author Javier Marias writes that children take a long time to show any interest in the people their parents were before they knew them. This tragic but seemingly unavoidable phenomenon Marias attributes to both incuriosity on the part of the child and a conscious effort by the parent to shrink away from the past and who they once were. A deviant version of this dynamic lies at the heart of Tim Burton's 2003 fantasy Big Fish, in which a father's tall tales about his youth inspire in his son nothing more than an unremitting sense of disbelief, which is itself an extreme form of incuriosity, albeit one that is hardened up and gone cold. So today's episode is all about Big Fish, parents and their children, and the almost forgotten, larger-than-life stories of our youth. I'm your host, Matt Jones, and this is another episode of I'm Not Crying.
Hi, today I'm here with Nick Coffman. How you doing, Nick?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Very nice, I think. Yeah, and you mentioned you're in St. Louis.
Yeah, I'm in St. Louis, Matt. Lived here basically all my life. Did a little bit of time in Chicago.
Oh, okay.
Working in education up there and doing a lot of comedy up there for in Second City and other theaters. Otherwise, yeah, St. Louis, man, fun to visit. Not the greatest place to live.
No,
it's okay. It's one of those cities that's seen better days. The
Sure.
downtown is just very inactive. Like, yeah, we've got ball games down there now, but not much else.
Okay. Is it prone to flooding?
Yes. There was one time back in about 10 years ago, I used to work at a university up here, and I was driving home from work, and there's a major river that separates like the county I live in from St. Louis County. And as I'm getting home, that river floods over. As I'm driving home, that river floods over the freeway.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, everyone's trying to get home. I thought I was being sneaky by taking side roads to get back,
Okay.
and it didn't work out because every other path was also flooded. So I ended up I left work like 3 hours early that day to beat it. It was the day before New Year's Eve, 2015, 2016 in there. And I ended up on the highway for like 8 to 10 hours, just
Holy
sitting
crap.
there waiting to get through.
Really?
Yeah. It's not a fun day. It was not a fun day at all.
That's a really bad commute home.
Yeah, normally it's like 7 hours, but they added the extra out. No.
Yeah. That would be
Yeah.
tough. Yeah, even by like LA standards.
Yeah, where are you out in LA?
No, I was, and I say that as if I've been, as if I lived there, but I've just heard the traffic's really bad. I'm from Houston, where the traffic actually is really bad.
Okay, you guys have that other the bean. You guys have that second bean.
Oh, really?
The cloud. What's the proper name for it? Cloud Sky. It's not Cloud Atlas. That's a terrible book movie.
the Chicago bean.
Yeah. You guys have another version of that, don't you?
Wow, it's totally possible. I haven't technically lived there since I was 18, so it's been a while. But if we've got a bean there, I've got to see it because I go back once a year.
I've heard like because for a while I think Chicago is the third largest city in America, and I think Houston's number 4, or it was number 4 after Katrina or something like that. I'm blanking on. I haven't. Look, I went to the school in the States, so I'm a little off geography wise, and then also just population wise. Don't ask me state capitals. No, I don't know.
We will cut the population talk short there. No, but you're right. I think it is big. It's a big place, but I haven't lived there for a while. Now I'm in a very rural small town in Pennsylvania.
Okay. All right. Wow. Yeah. I thought you were going to say like somewhere outside of it, but man, you really went to the other corner of the map.
Yeah. A lot of moving around over the years. What about how long have you been in comedy?
So, I was always, it's the cliche. Yeah, I was always making people laugh as a kid, and I really liked doing that. But so I played college football, was terrible at it. My main role with the team was driving the starting linemen around, and they were huge compared to me. I was the runt. And so, I tore my ACL, and that got me into working in athletics, wanting to help student athletes find what was going to be after their sport, so they weren't stuck like I felt.
Yeah.
And that, that led me around. That eventually led me up to Chicago, where I was like, Second City and the different theaters are here. Let me give this a try. Let me give improv, sketch writing a try. Let me see what happens. Did improv for a little bit, did some sketch writing, met a lot of great people. COVID hit, so I started writing TV stuff. TV stuff was going great for a while, got a manager, and it seemed like things were looking up. Yeah. and then the WGA strike hit, and that went out the door. And so now I've been writing satire for Hard Drive magazine, which is, if you don't know, basically think The Onion, but for video games.
Oh yeah. I know Hard Drive.
Okay.
Certainly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been over at Hard Drive. This is the 3rd year, and it's kind of led to some other projects, led to some other things I've been working on as well. Including Hollywood Times, which is a new Hollywood satire site that I started that is doing pretty well already. So it's nice to like, take something from one thing and kind of just, let me do this over here, do that over there. And, just trying all these different things is all. It's kind of like, how Facebook, you get on Facebook and then it starts to die. So you're like, all right, we all got to migrate over to Twitter. And then Twitter died. All right, we're migrating to Discord. Oh, they're killing Discord now. All right, it's kind of what writing and doing comedy is like. Like you get into a spot and then everyone's like, hey, there's no gold here anymore in improv. You all need to go do sketch. Everyone goes and does sketch. Nope, gold's not here anymore. Y'all got to go do TikTok.
That's the feel of kind of the broadly suffocated or dying industry. Like the lights are closing out behind you and you're running. That's how it feels with writing often. That there's fewer and fewer publications that go under. Mm-hmm. You find something else.
And the people who have been doing it for years, like I've always hated the, if I could give you youngins any advice, don't do it. I'm always like, no, you coward. You fucking coward. Like, tell me the path that you took is no longer viable, but then give me something actionable. I've always hated that ladder pulling up, that gate closing.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Like, no, like it was hard for you when you came up, but the people before you weren't like, don't do it, kid. Don't do it. You gotta.
I know. Cause I think in a way, cause they know it's no longer that path is much harder now to tread. Like when I think about like writers who in like, I don't know, like the 40s or the 50s, the Paris Review would pay you like a couple grand to go to Paris, spend a couple months there, and then write a sprawling essay about it.
Yeah. And I mean, you see it everywhere. Like I don't want to say I'm a games journalist, but I'm around a lot of games journalists, and those folks, they're having hard times now too. Like every other day someone's getting let go. Same with people who make games. Hell, High Guard, a game that came out 2 weeks ago, as we're recording this, just laid off like apparently a good chunk of its team. So yeah, it's hard for everybody right now.
Yeah, I've been reading that about the games industry. I've always been kind of like Hard Drive and like Kotaku and stuff from being on Twitter and then migrating to Blue Sky. Like I end up following kind of the similar cohorts of people. So even though I myself haven't played a ton of video games, I feel like I've always been pretty keyed into like what's coming out and what people are playing. Right.
And I'm completely too online at this point, but I always tell myself like, no, you're writing comedy. You need to to be rolling around in the mud. But it really eats away at your sanity. It eats away at your happiness sometimes. So that has been that has definitely been something I've been working on here in 2026. To great avail. This little unhappy square right here has been around me less and less. The further
that's
into
good.
this year we get. Yeah.
So you've had progress.
Yeah, it's been nice to like. I have chargers in every room now, so I can be like, all right, I'm gonna go hide in the bathroom. This can charge in the laundry room while I'm running around doing whatever I need to do in the house.
Okay.
Hanging out with my kids. Whatever.
Yeah. It's good to get away from online.
Very good. Sorry, I've got a dog that just had surgery and she's in a cone. She's in a cone in her cage, so she doesn't know where she's at.
Yeah, man, the cone in the cage, disorienting. We all know it.
Just wanted to apologize for any noise like you might be piping through on that, but she's just laid back down, so we're good.
Oh yeah, I can see like the corner. Yeah,
poor girl.
What's her name?
Winnie.
Winnie. Okay. Well, all best to Winnie.
Yep. Speedy recovery. She'll be back at it in a week.
Oh, excellent. So yeah, we're here today to talk about the 2003 movie Big Fish.
In telling the story of my father's life, it's impossible to separate fact from the fiction, the man from the myth.
I want to say this is probably the first time I've watched it since 2003, 2004.
Oh, okay. That's been quite a stretch.
Yeah, but I do remember watching it.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, let's see, 2003, 2004, I would have been 11 or 12.
Yeah.
So I watched this at a lock-in with a bunch of other, like, teenage, like, it was, I don't know if you've ever heard of Demo Lay.
I'm John Cameron Swayze, and I want to tell you the story of the Order of Demo Lay, an organization dedicated to the purposes of helping young men from 14 to 21 years of age to become better sons, better citizens, and to prepare for the years of manhood. It's
an offset of Job's Daughters. It's very cult-like, almost like
okay.
What are the clubs that older folks do? Like the Rotary Club,
sure, like the Moose Lodge,
stuff like that. And like it was one of these organizations where y'all dressed up in suits and did like this ritualistic stuff. You weren't sacrificing anything. You just had a lot of lines to remember.
And lines in what sense?
Like you would you would be holding a meeting and everyone was in these really fancy chairs like it was Game of Thrones.
Oh, wow.
And I was the youngest one there because I think it was the ages for it were like 12 to 18. And my mom thought this would be a good thing for me. And she thought I needed to like memorize. Like there was a lot to memorize. Like you had to like knock on a door a certain amount of times.
That's not the secret knock.
Say that somebody would like to come in. It was a lot. I was thinking about it on the drive home today and I was like kind of getting a little panicky. I was like, oh God, I don't know my lines.
Whoa. So wait, so were these lines that were they just having you rehearse the lines for the sake of rehearsing them? Or were you like going out door to door and?
So these are lines that you would actually do as part of the meeting.
Oh,
and so what this group would do is they would have these get-togethers because there are all these different chapters and there would be a competition where you would see who was the best group who could recite these lines.
Okay.
It was the weirdest thing. But the one thing I remember about this group is that we had a movie lock-in. And I remember every movie we watched. I think we watched 2 movies before we called it a night. We watched Cheaper by the Dozen, which great classic little comedy with Steve Martin. And then we watched Big Fish. And again, I'm like 12 or 13, but I remember crying in this movie. And I remember it so like vividly because, I'm around all these older boys. And I'm like, maybe I shouldn't cry because these are all cool guys and I want to be a cool guy.
Sure.
Yeah.
Wow. Do you remember any of these lines you had to rehearse?
On my honor as a man.
On my honor as a man.
And a Malay.
And a Malay.
Do hereby rededicate myself.
Do hereby rededicate myself.
To the principles and ideals.
To the principles and ideals.
Of the Order of Malay.
Of the Order of Malay.
No, I do not. They were a lot because basically there were different parts of the meeting. So like the competitions would be like, it's kind of like how the Olympics does where you'd have like, okay, well, rowing, here's 100 meters, here's 200 meters, here's 300 meters. Yeah. So the competitions would be broken up like, okay, here's the meeting where you're inducting somebody new. Here's the meeting where you are conducting new business. Here's the meeting where you're doing this. I want to say it's like Toastmasters, but I don't think Toastmasters is as culty. This felt culty.
It did. Okay.
Because everyone was wearing suits. I remember wearing like a suit from the 90s that I was like, this was the early 2000s, and I was wearing a suit that somebody probably wore in 92. It was like this green brownish thing.
Yeah.
It very ill-fitting on my fat little body.
How did you, and I'm coming back to Big Fish, but I'm curious, how did you find, and was this called Dino Lay?
Demolay, Demolay.
Demolay. Okay.
I don't know if it's still around. I was actually going to try and Google this today, and I just ran out of time. But so the way I knew about it is that, so the offset of it for girls was called Job's Daughters.
Okay.
And my grandma was in this. And I was like, okay. My mom, we were a church family, and then we weren't. We kind of like, we would do this group in church called Awana, which was like short for Approved Workmen or Not Ashamed. And that was another thing where you were reciting Bible verses back to some youth pastor looking guy, and getting patches for it. So my mom, for some reason, thought we needed to always be in a group where we were reciting things and getting badges for doing really good at it.
Sure.
Demolay is an international Masonic affiliated leadership organization for young men aged 12 to 21. I don't know. Wow, that sounds like a red flag. 12 to 21? Be careful, guys.
Demolay
focuses on character development, civic awareness, and mentorship. Founded in 1919 in Kansas City, Missouri, it emphasizes 7 core virtues through service, social events, and sports, often with a $40 lifetime membership fee and no yearly dues.
That's an incredible deal.
Yeah, nobody else has a subscription deal like that.
So I guess that makes sense. So you're saying it was founded in Kansas City, Missouri, and you grew up in St. Louis, so it's a regional thing, maybe.
I didn't realize this was a Missouri. Like, I didn't realize this was like a Missouri thing. I for sure thought this was. I was like, oh, everybody's doing this. Oh, I guess it's affiliated with Shriners a bit, and I guess Shriners has that.
That's something I've thought about quite a bit recently, and I guess particularly with movies, is when you encounter those experiences, typically as an adult, you describe something that you believe to have been universal for kids because you experienced it. And then the moment you describe it, people kind of look at you and say, what are you talking about?
Yeah, they're like, wait, what weird? You were in a cult? What was going on? And I remember, so this thing, because we went, I think the big conference was in Jefferson City, and we were at a nice big hotel, and the Job's Daughter, it was weird. The Job's Daughters had like a beauty contest, and I'm 12, so I'm like right at the age where like I think I like girls, and like here's this thing, and you're like, oh wow, this is like, looking back, it's like, wow, that's really weird considering all the men and all the boys in that group were aged 12 to 21.
Yeah. Man, I'm wondering that. I'm kind of wondering if Demolay has any. Holy crap! Do you want to know who is an alum of Demolay?
Oh boy,
John. This will be good. Mel Blanc.
Oh, it looks like you'll have to cough up another $50. They slapped us with a reckless driving charge.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I was trying to find, because Google will usually spit out, if you type in a group, it'd be like, oh, this person. But are you on the wiki?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, now we're in a really tricky time for finding out which names are attached to, public reveals. But yeah, Pete Rose as well. Pete Rose is in there.
R.I.P. Pete Rose.
John Wayne.
Yeah, names on list. Really big right now.
It is. Yeah, it's trending. Well, so I can see why you have such a clear memory then of watching Big Fish at this time.
Yeah, it felt like a time where I was changing a lot. Not from like a puberty sense, but from like we had ditched our church. I think this was right on the same time that we had moved out of St. Louis and moved into the county where I would call home and eventually meet my now wife. And yeah, I think I was going through like some kind of culture shock at the time.
Sure. Yeah, like moving as a kid, or really moving in general.
Moving as a kid, moving from like North County, St. Louis to not North County, St. Louis, down to like Jefferson, down into Jefferson County. I'm not doxing myself too much there.
Sure. Yeah.
It's a big county.
Yeah. what I'll say about Big Fish is that this is my first time seeing it, but I've been deeply aware of it my entire life. In fact, I remember when it came out that there was like a TV spot for Big Fish that used this Yes's song, "I've Seen All Good People."
Dad, I have no idea who you are.
You are in for a surprise.
Audiences have discovered the extraordinary movie that critics are calling a modern-day Wizard of Oz.
And I remember that I liked the trailer so much that had that song that it went on like my MP3 player or my CD player at the time. But I never saw it until this week.
I remember the trailers because I remember a lot of the imagery with, the fish and some, like, I think it was the guy swimming with the fish or the woman swimming with the fish.
Yeah.
And, it's a Tim Burton cut, but it's it doesn't feel like, because, you watch a Tim Burton movie, it's got very dark vibes, very gothic looking. I'd say this is the least gothic Tim Burton movie I've ever seen.
Yeah. It's a bit lighter.
Yeah, I haven't seen all of Tim Burton, so maybe he's got some lighter movies that I'm not aware of. But yeah, I can't do Edward Scissorhands off the top. If like Big Fish, if I'm like browsing channels and I see Big Fish, I can sit down and watch it. Anything else Tim Burton, I'm like, I can't do it, man. It's too heavy.
Sure.
I need a little sunshine.
Yeah, this is probably one of his more sunshine-esque films.
Yeah.
And with the first time you saw it, I guess thinking back on it, why do you think it made you cry when you were 11 or 12?
And this is one of those movies where there's two specific pieces of this movie that make me cry. And it's the son, it's not Ewan McGregor, it's Billy Crudup's character, Will Bloom, when he confronts his dad about it's the iceberg speech.
Am I trying to make a metaphor here?
Well, you shouldn't have started with a question because people want to answer questions. You should have started with the thing about icebergs is.
Okay. The thing about icebergs is you only see 10%. The other 90% is below the water where you can't see it. That's what it is with you, Dad. I'm only seeing this little bit that sticks above the water.
Oh, you're only seeing down to my nose, my chin, my...
Dad, I have no idea who you are.
And it's one of those things. I cried like a baby now watching it, but I remember crying as a kid watching it because I felt like I didn't know anybody that well. And again, I'm watching this in a new group. Basically my first night away from family with this new group. And again, I'm a kid that is transitioning into a man with this group that's supposed to help me do that. Yeah. And I've got all these feelings in my head, like, well, don't cry in front of them. But also like, wow, this is really sad. This guy feels like he doesn't know his dad. And as a kid, like, I had a dad that was an alcoholic, and there were pieces of him that I didn't know, but really all I knew about him was that he liked to have the booze.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So then that part resonated personally for you then.
Yeah. Cause I think we all think about it with everybody in our lives. Like, how well do I truly know a person? And for some reason at 12 or 13, that really clicked with me. That was a paranoid piece of me. I think another thing that really resonates that is that, so my parents had me at a very young age. My mom was 17. My dad was 19. Arrest him if you want. I don't know. He's dead, so you can't get him. But so they had me at a young age, and then they decided they wanted a girl. And so they try for kids again, and they get a set of twin boys. And so they're like, well, wasn't in the cards, whatever. So they wait 6 more years, and they're like, all right, let's try for another girl. Try. Another set of twin boys. You guessed it. Yes, they had 2 sets of twin boys. So I think there was always part of me that, my brothers were all born with like that person they're going to know really well. Yeah. Whereas me, I have to go out and make that relationship and make it work and know that, like, work to really know that person. Whereas in my little 12, 13-year-old brain, I was like, oh, everyone else just gets that person. That sucks.
Yeah. That you're born kind of locked into someone who's going to know you, I guess, to an extent that other people can't.
Yeah. But, and growing up, being older now, I'm like, well, most twins I know, like, want to disassociate from their twin as much as they can.
Sure.
Not all of them. Like, some of them in their 30s and 40s still dress the same, I'm sure. But my brothers all love each other and we're all really good with each other, but there are like, relationships are fickle. Like things be like, well, he said this, he said that. And that's just life.
Yeah. Yeah. It's making me think, have you heard of the movie Twinless that came out last year?
I've heard of it. I haven't seen it though.
Yeah. I like it. It talks a lot about what you're talking about.
They say we're born alone, we live alone, and we die alone, but for twins, that isn't true. You have a built-in best friend.
Okay, I'm gonna have to write that down because I was speaking of art stuff. I was like, oh, I should write a pilot about a guy who lives in a town full of twins. And now that you mentioned this movie, I'm like, well, shit, it sounds like somebody already did it. Oh, I cursed.
No.
Is that okay if I cursed? I'm so sorry.
Yeah, you're all good. No, I think you're still free and clear with the town full of twins plot.
Cool.
Yeah. I think that would work. So then you mentioned, so you said there was 2 parts that you cried at it.
Yeah, and I the last part of the movie, and I don't want to get too ahead of myself with how it makes me cry now, but the last part of the movie when Will Bloom is finally telling a story and kind of like mythologizing his dad and making him the big fish of the story.
Yeah.
Just heart-wrenching. And by the time you get to the funeral, I was still crying a little bit. But man, just him telling the story and like letting go of his dad and realizing that he actually did know his dad the entire time.
Yeah.
Just beautiful.
Yeah. He did know his dad. I will say, yeah, without jumping too far ahead, I will say that the ending works for me on that level.
Oh man, I was watching I'm a bad employee. I don't think anyone at work will hear this. I was watching this at work.
Oh, sure.
I had to close the door.
Yeah.
I was bawling. I was like, oh God.
Oh man. Yeah. I have a friend who's a pretty prolific movie watcher at work. Yeah. That's how I was always getting him in. Yeah.
Look, if they didn't want me to watch movies, they'd give me more to do.
That's true though. Yeah. You don't need to be locked in for the full 8 hours or whatever it is.
You never do. I think and that's what working remote has taught all of us.
Exactly. And yeah.
If they didn't want me to watch movies, they'd give me more to do and then they'd also pay me more. So, hey, anyone from work, if you are listening, cheers.
That's fair. That's completely fair. So then it's funny that you mentioned like one of the elements of watching this for the first time as a kid, though, was that you were in a room full of other guys. Mm-hmm. Because, yeah, I've had that experience as well of not in such a big room, but being at like an all boys sleepover around that age. And the rest of them had passed out while we were watching Bicentennial Man.
Oh no.
And then Bicentennial Man ended and I sat there crying knowing that they were all asleep.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. But it does add another element when you feel like you may have to hold back because you're in a room full of guys.
Sleepovers were the worst as a kid because my curse, besides the holding in tears when watching a sad movie, was I'd sleep over to one specific friend's house and I would wake up at 7. And this guy did not wake up until 9 or 10. So I'm just laying there in my sleeping bag. I hear the rest of the family rustling around upstairs doing family stuff. And I'm just like, man, I'm stuck down here.
Yeah.
I wish I would have gone upstairs. I look back, like, you should have just gone upstairs. You should have just left Sleepyhead downstairs by himself.
Yeah. I think I probably would have done the same, though. I know that it's like anytime you stay with someone or stay in another person's house and they're not on your schedule, it can really throw things off.
Right.
And I want to get into your experience watching it this time, but I'm wondering, like, how would you kind of rate yourself as a crier in life?
Having played football, like I was always in groups where it was like I was never afraid to show my emotions, but I was always around it, like in social situations where I felt like, maybe I shouldn't like I was always like a little goes a long way kind of guy where like, if I'm really upset, I can say I'm upset. But I'm a lot better now, and I have kids, and they'll get upset about something, and I'll be like, "You have to stop that." But then I also like circle back, like, "Hey, look, your emotions are very valid right now. You're upset that I made you stop playing Minecraft. I get it, but stop screaming at me."
I know Minecraft has a hold on this generation.
It does. I'd rather them be playing it than watching some losers on YouTube playing it, though.
Sure. I think that absolutely tracks.
Yeah. I want them experiencing it and not just sitting there like drooling as they're watching some guy do some bullcrap. But no, I think after 21, I'd say I got pretty healthy because I had some anger stuff as a kid that was centered on my parents, dad and mom specifically, their divorce right around when I was 18. But otherwise, yeah, I've never been afraid to like let people know how I was feeling and kind of just let it out.
Sure. And that you're saying, and you'd wrap up crying in that.
Yeah, I wrap up crying in that. But again, like I would be like, all right, like I don't want to be consumed by this. Like, get it out, go about your day.
Yeah, sure. That is kind of like a better out than in situation.
Yeah.
You don't want to feel like you're being eaten up inside. What about does that track with movies too? Like, have you been known to cry regularly at movies, or is it pretty particular?
All the time.
Yeah,
all the time. Like movies will just set me off. Like I can't watch K-pop Demon Hunters without crying.
Really?
I can't. Every time, and I'm blanking on the character's name. One of the Saja boys sacrifices himself at the end.
Yeah,
and it's just a beautiful arc of like he was a very selfish guy his whole life, and he finally gives up his life for somebody else, and it's like, oh, it's beautiful. And she's like, I wanted to save you, and he's like, you already did.
Oh wow, okay.
I'm like, yes, this is kids media that we should be pushing on them.
Oh sure, I guess it is nice from that element too to know that it's like good, deep, emotional kids media.
Kids media is getting really good at bringing it out of me lately. Like Bluey, there are some episodes that just tear me down.
Really? I've heard that my friend who has a kid, when I saw him not too long ago, recommended that I just watch Bluey because there's a lot to appreciate there as an adult. And I don't have kids, so I didn't immediately take up the offer and think, okay, well, I'm going to watch all of Bluey now. But he did say that there were episodes that really resonate.
Have you watched any yet?
I've seen some on YouTube. Yeah.
Okay. If you can find it out in the wild, watch Camping.
Okay.
Camping, I think adult with kids, adult without kids, no matter what, like it's a really heart-wrenching episode about how people come into your lives and they go away, and that's it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, beautiful piece of cinema. My wife can't watch the Sleepy Time episode because she cries every time.
Really?
Yeah.
And do you find is it having the same effect like on your kids? Do they see Bluey and also get emotional?
No, they more so like look and like, why are you crying? And you let them know like, well, you see, the boy that they were camping with is gone, and now she may never see him again.
Yeah.
And the Sleepy Time episode specifically like is about Bingo, the little one, having a dream, and in the middle of the night her mom picks her up and puts her back in bed, and in the dream her mom is the sun, and she's like, I'll be right here, but I can't always be, but just know that like I'm always around.
Yeah.
And it tears my wife, and it gets me too.
Sure.
We'll look at each other and be like, are you crying? No. Like we're totally fine with crying in front of each other, but we'll have some fun with it.
Yes, I have the same exchange with my wife. Especially if I catch her crying in a movie, which is extremely rare, I think, whoa, it's working. Like this is working on you. Yeah.
What was the last movie you caught her crying on?
Okay, give me one moment because I remember when it happened, and I'm going to blank on it currently. But as we talk, I'm going to will it to resurface.
Oh, you're good. I recently cried at 28 years later. The new 28 years later. The Bone.
Oh, the Bone Temple.
The Bone Temple. Yeah, it made me cry.
Wow. I guess I'd actually seen some reactions like that online.
It's. I mean, of course we're talking about Big Fish, but I think there's some strong elements in that. Well, I mean, we don't have the full trilogy yet, but there's some elements of that trilogy that remind me a lot of Big Fish.
Yeah. I just remembered. So it wasn't a movie, but it was a 6 or 8 episode series called Hal and Harper on Mubi.
That is very obscure. I've never heard of that.
Yeah, and so I was crying during it in the final episode, and when I looked over, she was too, and I was like, "Oh my God, you're crying! Like I can't believe it." Yeah,
you snot running down your face. Busted! I caught you.
Yeah, because I would probably be the more likely one. Yeah, to crack in that scenario.
Well, it's good. You guys had a good cry together.
Yeah. And incredible show. I'll say that. Yeah.
What's that called?
It's called Hal and Harper.
Hal and Harper.
Yeah, and it's on the streaming service Mubi.
There's too many of these streaming services.
I know. Yeah, we're overloaded here. I'm constantly cycling through what I'm canceling and re-upping based on what needs to be watched.
did they take away my password? I can't use that password anymore. All right, I don't need the app. Screw it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, just did that today with one. So then, when you were watching it this time during work, what was your response like?
So this is like, until those two moments, this really isn't a sad movie.
Yeah.
This is a beautiful movie. This is a beautiful movie about the people you meet and how they affect you. This is a movie about legacy and not only how you perceive the world, but how the world perceives you.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've ever played What Remains of Edith Finch.
No, I haven't.
So it's a game about a girl who returns to her home, and basically all of her family members have died in like these really weird, obscure ways. And the family is cursed. So you're going through the house, finding little like mementos about family members and replaying their death. And there's a central character in that game that like the grandmother character who really like mythologizes each of their deaths.
Yeah.
And it's just a game about just, how we perceive death. And it's about this character and how grossly she mythologizes death as opposed to celebrating people while they're alive. And I think Big Fish is like the opposite, where it's Edward Bloom mythologizing the people in his life. Because rewatching this, I was like, oh wow, like he doesn't really, none of like the really cool, quirky things are about him. It's always about somebody else. Like he's always shining the spotlight on somebody else in any given story, and I really like that about him. And I think that's a very likable thing about Edward. Rewatching this all these years later.
Yeah, you're right. He's constantly getting swept up in these fantastical scenarios and situations.
Yeah, like the most outlandish thing about him is that he's Forrest Gump in this story. He's just Forrest Gump. He's
sure.
There's nothing unique about him. He just so happens to be in the right place at the right time for all these stories to happen.
Yeah, yeah. And I was completely in on Ewan McGregor with a Southern accent.
he sold it.
Yeah, I think it worked for me. And yeah, I think you're right. It does feel like it's a lot about legacy. And I guess that particular way of how we relate to story. And I know Billy Crudup gets into the end that idea of like the stories are told, or like that's who he was. He was his stories, especially in the way I guess it lives on with his retelling. So I think that's something I didn't know that it would be about.
Well, I had completely forgot that Billy Billy's character was fed up with the stories. He didn't care. He's like, Dad, you've told me these stories a million times. I do not care. You make all these up. I don't really know you. And I think, and that's why I love Will's arc so much, because he's so anti-glom. He's so anti-bombastic story. He's like, no, stop embellishing. Just give me the real thing. And he has to learn that, like, that it's okay to embellish. Like, if it's okay to embellish if you're embellishing the right things.
And I think to drive it home, right, like to really show that they're polar opposites. He's a journalist, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a real adherent of truth, right? An objective fact.
Man, we need more journalists like that these days. Well, and the other thing I really like is that it's not even Edward Bloom's story that breaks through to Will. It's when Will goes to see, it's not Jenny the witch. It's Edward's old flame, or one of the women from the town that was smitten for Edward, but it never did anything with him. And she's like, well, no, like this town was doomed and your dad saved it, actually. Like he bought it, and I thought he was going to make me move, but no, he's just like paid for the building and let me live here.
Yeah. I think she was the girl, right, when he first visited Spectre.
Yes.
Who like threw his shoes over the wire.
That's right. And everyone. And then the fact that at the funeral after he's died, all these people show up. They're not as lambastic as he had said, but they're there and they all love him. And that's really what matters, is that those people cared about him when he was alive, and they're showing up to pay their respects for him at the end.
Yeah, yeah. You can see that they are real. If anything, he's just imbued them with like a little flair.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially with the twins who actually have a separate body.
Danny DeVito, who wasn't a werewolf, but probably was just a guy with anger issues.
Yeah. That was my read on that too. Yeah, I think the way that the funeral scene comes together is quite touching, I would say.
And then the fact that, like, finally Yeah, so he's mythologized all these people all his life, and then finally hands the torch. As bad as the handing of the torch trope has been in Hollywood lately, this is one of the more beautiful ones where Will is telling the story, and he mythologizes Edward into being the big fish.
Yeah, it's great.
And I do like the big fish in the small pond. Like Edward was this guy who thought he had to go away and like do these big great things, and he was only partially right. Like he had to meet the right people that would make him want to do those things.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter where they're at.
Yeah, that's true. One of the things I was thinking about this movie that like really, really worked for me when it came together was getting that scene in the beginning where he looks into the witch's eye, or they all look into the witch's eye and see how they die. Because I kept obviously because he's seen his death. I was sitting there. It was at the top of my mind throughout the movie, wondering what his death would actually be. So to have his death be as fantastical as the stories he told, I think that's probably what ultimately got me.
He's so brave in that moment because the rest of the kids kind of like run off screaming, and he's like, actually, I'd like to see it. And he's just like, okay. But I do wonder, I was thinking about this as I was rewatching it. Does he see his actual death, or does he see the death that his son gives him in the story?
My thinking on it, or what I choose to believe, is the latter.
Okay.
Yeah, which is why he feels, I guess, in the face of so much conflict with his son, he seems relatively chipper about it. Like he knows he's going to come around to me.
Right.
And then I wonder, if that's part of it. Like you've seen that your son is going there to be with you on your deathbed, describing you the way that you've seen the world.
It's just a really good movie. Rewatching this made me want to check out the musical. John August, I think he wrote this or he rewrote it. He's credited for the screenplay on this, but I think this is his best work, honestly. He hosts like a weekly screenwriting podcast. It's kind of its own thing now.
Cool.
Yeah, I actually got to meet him back in Chicago back in 2016. I got to thank him for writing to help make this movie. I was like, man, hey, Big Fish. I was like, man, Big Fish slaps.
It does indeed. Yeah.
Thank you for that.
So this is Big Fish is one of those movies that has remained with you. Like, even if you hadn't seen it, like since you were a kid, you've thought about it.
Yeah. Just because, the strange relationship I had with my dad and, rewatching the iceberg scene as an older adult, and especially the day after the Super Bowl and all that mess with Team Bad Bunny versus Team Kid Rock over on the other side. It had me thinking about legacy because, I really related to Will this time around. He's like, hey, I only know the 10% of you, Dad. The 90% it's mist, it's cloud. I don't know what it is. And, I was sitting there because the day after Super Bowl, folks hop onto the internet, say things they're going to say. And I've had family members who, have said things about Bad Bunny that I don't agree with.
Yeah.
And it got me sad because I was thinking like, okay, so like when you're dead, Aunt so-and-so or Uncle so-and-so or even mom, like, and my kids ask or my grandkids ask like who you were, like, I'm kind of like, well, what is your legacy? Like,
sure.
Were you just really good at being mad at whatever the TV told you to be mad at? Because that's a sad legacy, man. That's a really sad legacy. And, as I'm getting further into my 30s, that's just got me thinking about like, how my kids perceive me and how they're going to perceive me, because, my legacy for one person could be a completely different legacy for another. Like I could be the sunshine for one person, and for another person, I'm like a pit of fire.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's got me thinking like, okay, I want to make sure just about everybody can be on the sunshine side the best I can. So
yeah, you want to make sure that if a group of people were collectively putting together a eulogy, that they could all pretty quickly agree on like the positive things to say.
You'll always have that one guy be like, well, he owed me $5. Fuck him.
Yeah. And that's going to be hard, since our lives are long and we go through various stages at various ages. Like I'm sure we all exist in people's minds differently, negative and positive light.
But yeah, that was a major thing I thought about in that scene this time around. Because, yeah, man, legacy is a tricky thing. It's very it's very scary. It's almost like last words. You put a lot of weight on those last words.
Sure.
And it got me it got me thinking about, have you ever watched How I Met Your Mother?
Yeah.
So Steven Seagal, Jason Seagal's character Marshall, his dad dies, I think, in the 5th or 6th season.
Man, I remember that episode.
That whole countdown and him like breaking down on the street while he's
with
holding
the voicemail.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And so the episode after that is about last words, and like the whole episode is him just flashing back to like, what were the last words? And every time it's like worse and worse.
Yeah.
And then he finds out that like, while his dad was in the cab heading home, he left a a nice voice message for him. And of course it's a sitcom comedy. So he like farts or he says something about like a rash cream, but it's still a very good episode, just about, you know, what you want that person's legacy to be versus what it actually is.
Yeah. You know, I don't remember a lot of How I Met Your Mother for having watched it, but the episode and the scene you just described with the voicemail is something that I actually think changed my real life behavior. And that after I saw it, I remember, I guess, more just becoming cognizantly aware of the idea that like any voicemail I get from my parents, I'm going to save.
Mm-hmm.
And then, or just really actually any of my friends, my wife, now I just keep them and they pile up and I think, okay, well, I'll always have those.
Hi, sweetie. Just give me a call whenever.
Hey, Matt,
Bye.
it's Mom.
Nothing
Just
important.
calling to say hi.
Hey, sweetie. Happy New Year.
I love you.
Just calling to check in. Talk to you later. Love you. Bye-bye.
It's made me, and I've rewatched the show recently. It's made me leave more voice memos or leave more. Like the little thing you can do on your phone where you just hold the microphone and it'll send that. And hopefully they keep it. If they don't, that's on them.
Sure. I guess, it is up to them in the end. That's definitely something I think about, being able to have audio or audio visual evidence of someone that you knew in life feels, I don't know, more pressing now to me. I mean, there are obviously photographs too, but I have been thinking about that with voice and video and being able to experience someone, which is why I feel like, not to take it super far, of course, it's like why people are getting into like, have you heard of those like AI companies to where they're essentially like, will reanimate your, and I like, it's such a bummer to know that I understand the yearning to have that. But it's a bummer to see that like, oh, that is able to work on people in that way.
Yeah. Anyone who's like into that, I'm like, oh, you didn't see the Black Mirror episode. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It's too much. I feel bad for my kids because I'm on a lot of podcasts, like with my brother. So I'm like, oh God, if they want to see me, they have to see me in that. Oh God.
Actually, that's great though, because you have this kind of live living encyclopedia then that you're building.
Yeah.
Of stuff.
I've started. So I'll like, if I'm playing a game with them down here, I'll like, hey, actually, you know what? Can you say happy birthday into the mic or something? Like if it's someone's birthday, I'll have them say that, or I'll just be like, hey, you just want to babble into this and just say whatever comes to mind, and then they'll just save those, put a date on them.
Oh, sure. Any good babbling productions like lead to any gold?
No, nothing yet.
Okay.
Maybe I'll sample them in like a audio comedy sketch or like a hip hop song or something.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. There's always that opportunity.
You never know when a young toddler is going to be spitting a good beat.
Sometimes they do. Yeah.
Oh, wow. I could really rap to this. I could drop a bar or two.
I was going to ask, and you may have already spoken to this a bit, but do you find that part of your read on Big Fish now is like, you're a dad now? Does that play into it?
Yeah, I think it does a lot, just because again, I had the alcoholic parent, I had the enabling mom, and I'm just like, I want to be there for my kids. I want to make sure that when they look back, and I don't remember if I said this earlier in the episode, but before I had my son, I've done therapy and anger management in the past. Very strange anger management session I had as a kid that we can get into later if you want.
Yeah.
But as throughout therapy, like at one point, my therapist asked me like, hey, like, I want you to think about happy memories with each parent. And my dad, even though he was an alcoholic, like I was like, well, we played baseball together in the backyard. He would pitch, He would never bat. He would just pitch for us all the time, and it was fun. And then I'm sitting there racking my brain. I'm like, mom. And I couldn't do it. I can do it now. Like I remember like watching her play Resident Evil 3 as a kid. And then that was pleasant. I was scared out of my jeans, but that was pleasant.
Oh yeah.
But with that still fresh out of therapy, like me and my mom were pretty estranged for a while. And then COVID hit and I was going to have a baby. And I was like, hey, like I told her this story. I was like, hey, like I don't have any good memories with you that I can just pull out of my head and tell people about. And I want that to change. And, we were on good terms for a few months, but then she just went right back to being a narcissist. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it didn't hold in the end.
Didn't hold in the end. I thought maybe grandkids would change her. They've changed me more than I thought they would change anybody else, just because I mean, growing up, I didn't want kids because I was like, well, I'm doomed to be my mom or my dad. So why put them through that?
Right.
But now that I have them, I'm like, oh no, I fucking rock.
That's excellent.
I'm great at this. I love these kids. I love spending time with them. I love finding out what they're into.
Man, that's a great thing to find out.
Yeah. And it's just, I don't know, like, because I get being selfish. I get it. Like, it's really cool to be into yourself and do things. And as a writer, as a screenwriter, I get that. Like, yeah, I can be selfish sometimes, but I don't know, man. It's just nice to unplug from everything and then just read a book with my kids, or if they're playing a game, like watching him build something on Minecraft or play Astrobot. It's just so nice to just like not have a care in the world and be like, hey, we're going to the zoo. You want to go see the elephants?
Oh yeah. To be able to touch, not having a care, particularly in this world, you got to take advantage of that.
Right.
If you can enter that space. I mean, I think it's cool that you reached out to your mom though. Yeah. Like you made a shot of it.
And I mean, my wife is always like, hey, we just need to cut her off. And I was like, no. She'll cut herself off. You don't villainize a narcissist. A narcissist will villainize themselves for you. You don't have to do anything. Like that's the beauty. That's like once you've lived under the regime for as long as I have, you the playbook. You're like, no. Let her let him down.
Okay.
Because and I would get caught in the middle of a fight between my mom and her mom, and I was just like, she would say things like, oh, my mom never told me she loved me. And I was like, this is bullshit. And anytime my mom told me those stories, it drove me closer to my grandma. And my grandma got older, and like I started to see some of the cracks. I was like, okay, maybe you weren't so full of shit, but you drove me into the arms of this woman. So
Right. That'd be tough. Yeah. I guess that is one of those inevitable and I guess useful parts of getting older, as you get to see your parents or the elder people in your life as adults or as people.
Yeah, you start to see their flaws. You start to realize all your teachers are just people, and you're like, oh
yeah,
that teacher had a drinking problem, or oh, that teacher, we shouldn't be around that teacher.
Of course, yeah. I think and when I was teaching, that was like my absolute big realization. Is that I'm relatively young. I'm in my 30s. They all think that I'm 65 plus. And they likely think that I leave school and like power down until I like power up to become their teacher again.
It is really weird because I coached middle school football for the first time this year or this past fall. And it was like taking my kids trick or treating after the season was over was the weirdest thing because I would see some of them out in public. I'm like, oh God, leave me alone.
Mm-hmm.
Leave me alone. Like, you're cool. You're a good football player. Look, man. Go your own way, as the song says. You don't know that song. It's song's 50 years older than you, but go your own way.
Yeah. But they do end up with their, I think with just like the internet and like the whole world of songs and music being available to them. When I was teaching middle school, they would get hung up. I want to say it was either the Enterprise Rent-A-Car jingle or the O'Reilly's Auto Parts jingle that became like just a part of their daily or by the minute interactions with me, which grew very frustrating. Oh, and they did a lot of rickrolling. They rolled me a ton. And I remember that being a thing more like when I was a teen.
I don't mind the rickrolling. I'm glad that's still around because that's just a great song. But it always makes me sad when an ad enters somebody's lexicon. Like when somebody ironically says you're in good hands. I'm like, that's an insurance commercial. Shut the fuck up.
Oh yeah.
Get out of here. I'm going to stuff you in a locker. Get away from me.
We'll pick you up.
We'll pick you up. Oh, O'Reilly auto part. And you know, it's stuck in my head. I hate that it's still up there. I'm sure I could remember someone I love's birthday instead of having that up there. And I hate FM radio for doing that to us.
Yeah, jingles are carved really deep.
I was there at the height of 6'7". So while everyone else was scratching their head, I was hearing it every day. I was like, oh, wow. I feel like an archaeologist that just discovered a stupid dinosaur.
Okay. I'm mercifully removed, but it does remind me, it humanizes my teachers at that age, because I think, wow, now I totally recognize how you guys were feeling.
Yeah.
Just at the end of your rope.
But at the same time, I'm like, well, you're all gonna have your humor, so have it. And you're gonna look back one day and be like, oh, 6'7", how dumb. But then you're gonna get drunk with your buddies, and someone's gonna be like 6'7", and then you're gonna be laughing at it,
and it's gonna hit super hard.
Exactly.
Yeah, everyone has their version of. Every generation has their version of 6'7".
Exactly.
Yeah, I would think.
Trying to think of them, I can't, because ours were really good.
Ours, well, I guess this probably wasn't when I was in high school. A thing was just yelling penis as loud as you could.
Yep.
Yep.
We would. I think it was called like penis contest. You need penis,
and someone would be louder.
Penis.
Yep. Oh yeah. So I remember that. I remember Borat happened to come out while I was in high school. So
very nice. How much?
Oh yeah. My wife really took over.
My wife.
Yes.
What else was it? Yeah, we just quoted movies a lot. It was the Hangover. There are Skittles in there. It's a satchel.
Oh sure. Yeah. The Hangover was big.
Yeah. You always look back and you're like, oh, we quoted that movie a lot. Oh, those poor teachers.
I know. Yeah. It's a struggle. It really is a struggle. And I recognize that now, having been on the other side. I'm thinking about with Big Fish and just the role of storytelling and really grandiose storytelling. Do you find that, like, are you a grandiose storyteller? Do you have grandiose storytellers in your life?
Yeah, I really, and you know, I don't embellish on the level that Edward does, but I do find myself. So I do improv here in St. Louis, and we do this form called a living room.
Okay.
And so basically, instead of starting the show with some weird improv game, because I always think when you start with those, the audience who isn't improv people are like, no, we're good. Like, it's a good way to ease them in. Like, it's a good way to like remind them, oh, hey, we're humans up here.
Yeah.
And so you're basically sharing something. So like if the word's like chocolate, I'll be like, oh yeah, you know, I once stole a chocolate bar when I was 12, blah, 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 blah. And usually in those I'll embellish a little bit. But one time I told my group afterwards, I was like, oh yeah, that story was mostly true except for this part. And I remember one of the members of my group was like, oh, that sucks. Like, I thought everything you were saying was true. That kind of sucks. I was like, well, really? Most of the details are true, but I embellished this one thing. So
yeah, sometimes the emotional truth is really what counts.
Yeah. And so I try not to embellish too much, but as a storyteller, you're just like, no, man, like like this character going through this metamorphosis, I need the most, here's on this side of the line where he's at, here's where I need him to be. Like, I need it to be the most bombastic thing. Otherwise I'm like, little fib here and there, a little embellishment here and there. But I didn't meet no giants at any point. My friend Big Germ is 6'5".
Okay. That's up there. Yeah.
Yeah. And some of my stories, like, I don't even have to embellish. Like, my first kiss with my wife, and my wife and I have been together since before freshman year of high school. I'll tell you this real quick story. So we're dating for a month, and we go to the local pool, and I have my younger brothers with me, so I'm supposed to watch them. And we go to the deep end of the pool, and we're just kind of holding each other at the end of the pool. And we're looking into each other's eyes. And I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna kiss her. I'm gonna kiss her.
Mm.
All of a sudden I hear whistles, and multiple lifeguards jump into the pool, and there's a woman on the other side of the pool drowning. And my then girlfriend, now wife, is looking over there. And I feel the moment slipping away. I'm like, oh, this first kiss, it's got to happen. It's got to happen. So I like, hey, are you going to watch that woman drown, or are you going to kiss me? And she for some reason, she turns back to me and we kiss. And that was our first kiss.
Good. I'm glad she could return her attention to to the appropriate matter at hand.
Right. And, whenever I tell that story, the first question is always like, well, did the girl survive? To which I always answer, I have no idea.
Oh.
I don't know. I do not know.
Wow. Yeah. Well, I guess that's one of those parts you can embellish in the future. You can just decide.
Well, yeah, she died. We all went to the funeral, and I was making out in the back of the church with your mother.
Oh man, I feel like that reminds me. I feel like, and I'm going to mess it up, but there was a short story I had to read in college that was like, I think it's a guy and his girlfriend are kind of at a lake at night, kind of like a Lover's Lane type situation, and a body washes up in the lake, and it totally kills, obviously, the moment, and the girl actually ends up becoming quite obsessed and haunted by the image of the body. So this is on a level.
Up until you said she was haunted, I was like, this sounds like a Simon Rich short story.
Yeah, I don't remember where it was from, and I could be off on the details.
Couple at lake body washes. I'm going to Google this later.
Yeah. I'm not embellishing. I just don't remember.
This sounds like my jam.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and I might be able to figure it out.
Yeah, up until you were like, oh, the horror was haunting her. I was like, this sounds like Simon Rich. This sounds like they got the body involved.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever seen Man Seeking Woman, but it's an FX show from the 10s. What's that? Jay Broussard or
oh yeah, Jay Baruchel?
Something like that.
Yeah.
But he's dating, and it's just like these hyper, to take it back to Big Fish, these super embellished stories. Like there's this one moment where his sister is setting him up with this girl, and she's like, is she a troll? He's like, is she a troll? She's like, no, she's not a troll. And he shows up for the blind date, and she's a literal troll.
Oh, okay. You know what? I feel like I strongly remember seeing clips of this show.
Yeah, and there's another scene later on in the show where he's thinking about texting a girl at 3 a.m. And I think this was at the point where the hey with two Y's was a thing. And it becomes a hostage negotiation where somebody's outside of his apartment saying, don't do it. We want you to come out alive.
Oh, man.
Do not text her. Just really, really fun stuff, really out there stuff. And again, talking about Big Fish and then talking about Man Seeking Woman makes me realize I love it when people embellish. It's just beautiful. Life can be so mundane sometimes, and I just like it when people really just add the extra little details.
Oh yeah, to be immersed in a great story, I can definitely appreciate that. I'm wondering. So I know I sent you that scale, the Baden-Hop-Fletcher lacrimation scale. Did you have a chance to think about how you would rate your response on the 1 to 5?
Oh man, I think I looked at this like during the holidays.
Sure. Yeah.
Can I get a quick refresh? I'm sorry.
Yeah. So we can even go just baseline. It'll be 1 to 5. 1 on the lowest end is kind of like you feel a little bit of a disturbance inside you. And then on the 5 end is obliteration, like you're completely destroyed, but then maybe find a renewed sense of self afterward.
There it is. Okay. Okay. So disturbance, breach, surge, upheaval, obliteration. And this is how I feel on the inside?
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, from this movie or just in general?
Oh, let's say from this movie. Like when you reach those scenes where you're crying, where are you at?
Having to close my door. Having to close my door in my office just to like avoid bringing attention to myself. I'd probably say surge. It was between surge and upheaval.
Okay. Yeah.
Just because and when the iceberg scene happened, like I started crying right before he says he doesn't know. I'm like, oh no, it's coming.
Yeah. In anticipation.
Yeah. Same with the story. Like I know where it's heading, so I'm crying the entire time he's like speeding in the truck.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I guess because you remember some aspect of it from when you saw it as a kid.
Yeah, like I like this scene lives in my head rent free. It's just him rushing him to the water to be put in the pond to be buried to rest.
Yeah, and such a great image of that big fish.
Really, really good CGI for the early aughts.
Yeah. So I've got a cat encroaching here.
Oh no, you're fine. Mine usually does the same, but he wised up tonight.
Okay. Yeah. He's incorrigible. I'm wondering, I guess with that fish, do you think they used any physical effects for one of the fish? Like the one he was holding?
Maybe the one he was, because he's holding the one very early on.
Yeah.
I don't know. Having seen like how they do stuff in movies like The Thing and other practical effects, I wouldn't be surprised if they just were able to get like a really convincing looking animatronic fish.
Yeah. I guess I was kind of thinking about it. I wonder if anyone, if it's ever been like sold at auction.
I imagine Tim Burton's got all that stuff in his attic somewhere.
Yeah.
Right next to Edward Scissorhands.
You're probably right. He's got probably a little museum.
Yeah, it's scary. Don't go up there at night.
Sure.
Turn a light on.
One thing I'm curious about is, so if you watch a movie like Big Fish, you're closing the door to your office, you're crying, you're going through it. What is a movie that you might watch to help you bounce back, to find that equilibrium?
Oh, something like Blazing Saddles. Just a really bombastic comedy.
Yeah.
It just pulls no punches, makes fun of everyone. Something that doesn't take itself too seriously. You actually got me curious now. Let me see, because I watched something recently and I put it on my letterbox, and I was like, yeah, this is a really feel good movie.
Oh, okay.
Let's see here.
Yeah, it's good to have those on hand.
Well, it wasn't Blade Runner, which I watched for the first time recently. It was probably like The Nice Guys or Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, something from that like Shane Black era.
Yeah, I actually really like both of those.
Just buddy cop movies with just these otherworldly characters that are just not good partners throughout until they are.
Sure, yeah, that is also a nice familiar trajectory.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, yeah, this has been great. And I'm wondering, could you remind our listeners maybe where they can check out some of your stuff, your other work?
Yeah, so I'm on Hard Drive. That's hard-drive.net. Wow, I've never said it out loud. That's really weird. You can go there, or you could go to my Hollywood Times website, which is hwoodtimes.com. Getting ready to do a Nepo Baby March Madness bracket on there. So if you ever did like Game Facts back in the day that had the daily poll,
yeah,
it's gonna be something like that. So would love if people check that out. And then my movie podcast, which I'm hoping to have you on in the near future, it's called Stand and Watch. It's a movie for dad podcast. It's a movie. It's a podcast for dad movies. There we go. And basically, me and my co-host Matt, who is an editor that I met through Hard Drive, we sit there and determine how dad a movie is.
Excellent. Yeah. I think that's a solid project.
It's a lot of fun. We're on our 4th season right now, and we're just blasting through movies right now. We've got like 11 left on the wheel.
Oh, okay. Very nice. Yeah. Good place to be.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Nick, thank you so much for joining me. This was great.
Yeah, Matt. Thanks for having me. This was a lot of fun.
I've seen all good people turn their heads each day, so satisfied I'm on my way.
I'm Not Crying is a production of Wildborough Studio. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time.